I'm Callie Lewis. You're watching Geek Brief TV. This is Brief 93. I just read Walt Mossberg's review of the Zune, which launches Tuesday. A link to the Wall Street Journal reviews in the show notes at geekbrief.tv. Mossberg compared and contrasted the Zune and the iPod, and of course, the iPod came out on top. The Zune, he says, is big and blocky, sort of like a prototype for a gadget rather than the finished product. Well, I knew that from photos, but what I learned from this piece is that Zune's tagline is weird. When you unbox a Zune, you see the words, "Welcome to the social." Well, to me, that just isn't cool at all. Heck, why not say, "Welcome to the cotillion," or something equally quaint? I hear the phrase "the social," and I think ice cream. Maybe I'm being too picky, so let's delve into what they mean by social. You guys know all about it. It's the Zune's ability to share songs with other Zune users. When someone shares a song with you, you can play it 3 times, and the share only lasts 3 days. Sharing is something I learned in kindergarten, and I just wonder how my life would be different if my kindergarten teacher taught me sharing the Microsoft way. I would have been instructed that it's nice to share the building blocks, but that sharing experience would have been truncated. And if my fellow classmate played with the shared blocks too long, those blocks would have been ripped away from the hands of my classmate, and that classmate probably would have started to cry. It's fine for Microsoft to put limits on sharing. The RIAA, after all, has warned us that sharing is the same as stealing, haven't they? I just think 3 days and 3 plays isn't enough. Update. Neil and I write the brief collaboratively in Google Docs. After we read the Mossberg review and wrote the previous item, we read David Pogue's review in the Times. He made the same ice cream social reference, so now we feel especially warm and fuzzy because David is cool. Now, I don't want you to put me on one of those lists of Apple users who hate Microsoft. There are things I like very much about Microsoft. I just get frustrated with Windows. However, according to outgoing Microsoft co-president Jim Allchin, Vista won't need antivirus protection. Vista incorporates a feature called ASLR, which stands for Address Space Layout Randomization. The technology makes each PC running Vista slightly different than every other PC running Vista, so a worm that successfully exploits one machine would be unsuccessful trying to follow the same path on another. Allchin predicted Vista would face future threats as attackers get more sophisticated in their attempts to create new exploits. And now to cleanse the palate, Apple. Ah yes, Apple MacBooks now have Intel Core 2 Duo processors. That means all MacBooks, Pro or not, now have the faster chips. A lot of times we cover gadgets on Geek Brief TV a few months before they're available for sale. Here's one of those things, and it might be the coolest product we've talked about so far, at least if you still watch TV. It's called the Hillcrest Loop, and it uses gyroscopic sensors to control the TV with a wave of your hand. I love all this gyroscopic stuff coming out these days, but this remote incorporates an older technology I'd like to see included on all remotes. It has a scroll wheel. It would be so cool to have a scroll wheel to quickly scroll through channels or channel guides or menus. I'm not sure if we'll ever actually see this bracelet-looking remote, but the company and technology behind it are real, and they're licensing the technology to consumer electronics makers now. The Splenda flavor blend stories are rolling in. Mike Jans just picked up some mocha flavor blends last weekend and found that his No I Won't Fix Your Computer coffee cup from ThinkGeek, I have that t-shirt, needs 2 flavored packets and 2 regular Splenda packets. That's on top of a large helping of Coffee Mate. Mike knows how to drink his coffee. Callie at geekbrief.com to share your story. One more thing, Podshow.com did a major upgrade this week. Take some time over the weekend to look around and tell me what you think. I'm Callie Lewis, your fearless leader. Life would be different if my kindergartner teacher... I don't want you to put me on one of those lists of Apple users who hate Microsoft. There are things I very much like about Microsoft. That's Apple and Microsoft together. It's the new Microsoft.
Podshow is getting ready to kick some serious butt.
Or bum, depending on your location.
With the launch of btpodshow.com and Podshow Plus 2.0.
That's right, folks. In just a few days' time, you'll be able to enjoy the following Podshow podcast with your American light beer or your good old English cup of tea.
Either way, we know you'll like it.
Enjoy.